Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Big fight feel in the air this evening as we've got a triple threat match for the Season 6 championship. The top three drivers separated by 5 points. And man, oh man, has it been an absolute brawl all season long. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth. Ron, Aaron Creed with me here as well. Aaron, how we feeling tonight, brother?
Oh, I'm ready to go right here. We got a close championship battle. We're going to be going 100 laps here at Dover, one of the favorite tracks of many of the NEP competitors. And I think we got all three championship contenders here ready to tell us some things before we go green. Right, Paul?
Indeed, we do. A couple minutes left in qualifying. These drivers already got their times in. These top three guys in the championship, they're qualified in the top six. We're going to talk to the second place starter here tonight, John Peters, first in the '09 truck. Man, John, it's been a crazy season, up and down just a little bit. What are your plans going into the 100 lapper here tonight at Dover?
I think there's one mission to go out and lead laps and win the race. We'll just keep it that simple. It's great to be at Dover. It's such a fun track. I think the race tonight will be interesting. We have a lot of trucks, so there could be different strategic elements that come into play, but it'll be fun. I'm really excited to do it. We've never had a finale with this much intrigue before in NEP, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic season to follow along throughout the schedule here. And last race of the season, this is kind of a home track for most of the NEP drivers in the field here tonight. So there's a lot of prestige, a lot of kind of honor on the line here. What would it mean? You've already got yourself a handful of these championships. What would it mean for you to get a 4P here this evening?
It's been a while. I would love to do it again. The last couple of years, just having to miss races, I feel like I haven't really had a shot at it. And this year, I feel like I've been really consistent. I've eliminated bad weeks, and now it's time to go make it happen in the end.
You had one thing to tell your two championship competitors. What would it be?
That I'm just glad it's those two that we're going to go fight this out with. Those guys are always respectful to me and vice versa. We always race great, and I'm sure it'll be nothing else than that tonight.
Going to be a lot of fun. Good luck here tonight, John. We'll try to talk to you after the race here tonight.
Sounds good. Thanks, and good luck, guys.
And we'll send it over. You've caught up with Kenny. He qualified P4 in that Ford truck tonight. That could be a good omen.
It very well could be. And Kenny, this is one thing you might be coming in here among the championship three with the most momentum. We've talked about it in previous weeks. You came from a pretty far back gap, but what are you going for today here at Dover?
Yeah, I think John said it perfectly. It's the recipe to win the championship is to plan on going out and winning the race. That's really the only way we can kind of guarantee that we win the championship. So that's kind of the goal, is get to the front and try to lead laps and win the thing.
Yeah, and it's not going to be any easy feat, though. I mean, we got your two fellow championship contenders, and then we got the rest of the field. It's a good turnout tonight for the finale. It's not going to be easy by any means, I'm sure.
No, it's going to be a tough race out there. Everybody's pretty even. The track's a tough track to pass at, so it's going to take some patient aggression at some points, I feel like. So I hope we get some long green flag runs today, though, and just kind of let the race come to us.
And just like we gave John the opportunity there, what would you like to say to your fellow championship contenders?
Hey, just best of luck. It's been a great season for all three of us, up and down, like you guys said, but it's been exciting. It's been a lot of fun, and may the best driver win.
All right, now, Paul, we're getting ready to grid here, so before it gets really loud, I better send you over to, actually, you're over there with Stephen Daddio.
Indeed, I am a reigning and defending series champion. The 99, you've had at least 87 second place finishes this season, and there's been a couple of wins, or one win kind of sprinkled on top as the cherry. What's going through your head as we enter in? You're 5 points out of the championship spot. What do you got to do to win this thing?
I got to put the nuts up on the dash tonight. I think I'm going to have to really drive as fast as I can, probably the whole time. This isn't exactly the track to go do it at. Choose your tires up. I'm going to have to figure something out here, pretty much drive it over the limit at all times, gain some positions and get to the front, and hope for a little bit of luck here. I got nothing to lose. I feel like I'm still on the outside looking in unless I get a little bit of luck here. So we're going to let it all hang out. We're going to have some fun. It's been a hell of a year. It sucks that we were so close in a lot of those races, but hoping to get it done here tonight.
Absolutely, and we'll give you the opportunity if you had anything to say to the top two, the two of the other top three, whatever I'm trying to say. What do you got to say to those guys that you're battling for the championship?
I think they covered it. You know, I feel like we've been the class of the field all year, and we've ran each other clean and put on a good show for the fans. So it's all good. Whatever happens here happens. Can't take this season away from this team. I mean, like you said, we've been in the top 3 all year. Just couldn't quite get those first place finishes that we need to get out in front here. So good luck to those guys. I'm looking forward to running this race with them.
Absolutely, and good luck to you, sir. As the cars are making it, the trucks are making it out to the track. We will get you on down there, get you ready to rock and roll. We'll talk to you after the race.
Thanks, guys.
And the top 3 contenders are ready to rock and or roll here at Dover. Just going through the starting lineup. As you can see, we made mention last week and tonight. This is kind of a home track for a lot of the NEP drivers here in Dover, Delaware. There is a massive field on hand. It looks like 26, 28 trucks on the field taking the green flag here tonight. So everybody's showing up for the season closer. This is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we're pretty excited for this. Looks like we're going to go another lappy. Looks like Barney's given the 1 to go signal right there, and we're going to get ready to go. But yeah, there's a lot to win here and a lot to lose. You could lose this pretty quickly if you're not careful. And right now, there's a lot of competitors. Arsal sent us who he thinks the wild card is for today's race. He always does that every week. But you know what? I think any of those drivers that are not the top 3 in points are wild cards tonight. They could really change the complexion of this race, and not necessarily directly affecting the championship competitors, but indirectly. You bring out a caution at a certain inopportune time, it could change the whole path of where this race goes. So there's a lot that can be decided tonight. 100 laps. We're getting ready to go, Paul.
100 laps on the docket here at the Monster Mile, and it's brought to us by Adams Photo and Film, jumping on board with the sponsorship here for the closing race of the season. There you see that one truck, last week's winner, Ryan Messer. He's going to try and stink up this championship show. He's got the pole here tonight, starting in that P1 spot, and he's going to try and get himself a win after 100 laps. There you see the pace truck down in the safety of pit road. Green flag flies. We're racing here at Dover.
And there we see John Peters. Looks like he's going to try to get out into the front and lead a lap. We're going to see if that can work out for him. Right now he is. And it looks like John Peters might be up front here. A lap led. Any number greater than 0 laps led gives you 1 point towards the championship. And he has earned that now. That time going by. So John Peters already setting himself 1 more point ahead. We entered this race with Peters having a 2-point lead. Kibbe was second. Daddio was third. 5 back. Now Peters is 3 ahead of Kibbe. So there you go. 1 point goes to the pole winner. However, that was Ryan Messer. So that's going to be that's not going to really affect anything. But the fastest lap that time, John Peters. He is just cruising out there up front right now.
Indeed, he is. You can see most of the field getting single file. A couple of drivers jumping on down to the bottom side. There you see Kenny Kibbe moving himself up to the 3rd position already. He's got a mirrorful of the double 9. Steve Daddio already up to 4th spot into the top 5 and a little bit better. Evan Bollier back there in 5th in that 56 car. And look at the run that John Peters has in that 09 truck. He's got that 2nd spot cleared by probably 7-8 spots.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, though. Are we going to see? We don't usually see John Peters kind of jump out into the lead this quickly. He's normally one that kind of conserves and makes sure he has, the tires under him by the end of each run. So that's definitely going to be one of those kinds of things. But yeah, that's one thing that we do get 2 sets of tires. So it depends on if or when the cautions fall. We can go a maximum of 56 green flag laps. So at most, at least they're going to have to pit once. Kibbe trying to find every way around Ryan Messer right now, especially with Daddio right on his tail. So a lot going on up front here. Messer right in the middle of that championship battle, even though he's out of the championship hunt. On track right now, he's running second right in the middle of these guys.
Indeed, he is. 100 laps on the docket, but it's going to go by speedy quick as we're already rocking a lap number 7 as they cross the stripe, and we'll keep a close eye on that points battle as they run. If John Peters or Kenny Kibbe wins the race here tonight, they will win the championship. Steve Daddio is going to have to hope for a little bit of luck as he came in 5 points behind. As you can see, that Ford truck, the Nocturnal Sim Racing machine of Kenny Kibbe, going to jump down on the bottom side, a little bit loose down there on the bottom side, going to tuck back into the tire tracks of Ryan Messer.
Yeah, he sure is right now as this battle for second place continues to heat up. And there's a lot going on all over this track. 28 trucks in the field, and it's not just the championship. Obviously, that's the most prestigious, but there's a lot of different positions that need to be settled. I'm looking at the point standings coming into this race. Brent Roy is in 4th, far back from the top 3. He's got an 11-point cushion on Evan Boyer, who, as we had mentioned, Arsal kind of listed him as the wild card because he has won here twice and has been second once. He'd like to bookend this season with wins. He was the winner at Daytona, and he'll certainly be one of those guys that we'll be watching as the night goes on. I believe he's in the field. I haven't really seen him yet. In tonight's, he's running out right there in 5th behind Daddio. So right now he's kind of riding there in the 56 truck with Jason Ricker in the number 9, one of those guys that was at Hickory this past week for the past series. We saw he's not in the top 10 right now, but Joey Dwyron was a winner at Hickory this past weekend. So he's coming off a win in real life right there, running in 13th spot right now. Joey Dwyron is. So we'll see if he can. I don't know what the specifications, Paul, are for Rookie of the Year. I guess if it's your first season in NEP, that makes you eligible. That would far and away make Joey Dwyron the Rookie of the Year. But if those rules don't apply or something like that, there's a tight battle for Rookie of the Year further back between Eric Kern and Garrett Benson. They're about 14 points separated. So there's a lot to be decided tonight, Paul.
Indeed, there is, and we know there's a close points battle. I don't exactly remember where it is on the card, but Corey Casagrande, Zane Farrell, the admins here in the NEP series, they're separated by about 4 points. And I heard those guys talking a little bit of trash in the virtual garage area earlier on. Zane Farrell said he'd wreck his grandmother for a championship, so he would wreck his grandmother for a 14th spot in the championship standings here as well.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yes, that's one thing that. It's always good fun to see these guys battle it out. And there you see Zane Farrell currently riding in the number 14 at the moment. He's currently about mid-pack right now. I think that's Keith Lord that he's following in the 17. Good to see Keith here. I wasn't sure if we were going to see him at the finale, but here he is. Good to see him finishing off the season. They breeze by the 6 of Johnny Miller, who has had a great season in that number 6 truck, as he currently is 10th in points, and that's another one. That's another one of those battles, Paul, that's really close. 8th place Joey Dwyron has a 1-point advantage on Austin Belke, who has a 2-point advantage on Johnny Miller, who has a 1-point advantage on 11th place Jeff Bradway. So out of those 4 competitors, you don't want to be that odd man out there in the top 10 when they all get to go on, our virtual stage and thank all their crews and everything during the virtual banquet, right?
Oh, absolutely. You can bet your bottom dollar we're doing a virtual banquet again this season. But it looks like Johnny Miller may be that odd man out. He's going to have some work to do. That Eagle looks like it got its wing clipped. There's some big-time damage up on the right front of that number 6 Toyota. And you can see he's already down a lap here in this one, and he's struggling to hold on to it. Dale Glessner going to fire on by down on the bottom side. He's going to bring Brandon Uhouse down on through with him. That's the 17th and 18th drivers going on through. Up front, still John Peters by about a mile. He's still got that great big lead. They are still bumper to bumper, though, for second and third. Ryan Messer in that one truck, holding on to it. Kenny Kibbe in that number 4 Nocturnal Sim Racing truck. Put $1 in the jar. That truck is right on his back bumper, all the way up the tailgate. He's trying to get around and get that second position.
Well, Paul, let's not call it a literal mile, and because we don't want anyone to step away, because this thing is far from settled on the mile Dover track. So if it was a literal mile, John would have a lap lead, and that's Not even close to that right now. So stick around, everyone. Just because John Peters has a few seconds advantage right there doesn't mean that it's going to be settled just yet. We see some continued battling around mid-pack. We see Dan Winter, Brent Roy, and Mike Hopkins all looking to end their season on a high note. We saw Arsals in front of them in the number 12. He's had a career season in NEP, currently 7th in points, had a couple top 5 finishes. Arsals had a great season, and he looks to finish it off pretty positively too. But right now, Brent Roy trying to find every which way around Dan Winter, who's also had a pretty good season, ran the full schedule this year. I know we've seen him kind of pick and choose in previous years, but he currently sits 12th in points, has 6 top 10 finishes. He's had a good run in that Winter World truck.
And Mike Hopkins right in behind in that 78 truck, doing a great job holding on to these guys, running in the 16th position. And we made mention 28 trucks on the racetrack here this evening, taking that green flag. So you can see the 78 doing a little bit of evasive moves there to try and get down underneath the 81. Almost took it 3 wide between the 81 and the 26. Thought better of it. He's going to get by Winter here as they cross the stripe, and he's going to set his sights on that tailgate of the number 26 truck.
That he is, and he's going to see what he can do with that number 26 of Brent Roy. And these guys continue to I don't know. I don't have words to describe it, Paul. They're doing a good job. And you see there is 2 trucks down pit road as we ride along with Brent Roy. I'm not sure who those are, but we got some early pit stops kind of taking place that very early, probably unscheduled pit stops, I would think. I think one of them that's Jared Adams, our sponsored truck of the race in the Adams photo and film ride. Finished 14th last season in this race. He has 3 14th place finishes this season. He's going to need to pick it up a little bit if he's going to top half of this field tonight, and maybe get a better career finish. But right now, riding back up front once again, or towards the front, battle for second, continuing to go Ryan Messer's way as Kenny Kibbe trying to do what he can. Steven Daddio's lost some ground there, running in 4th, and now Evan Boyer catching him.
Yeah, Boyer in a tight battle, as you made mention, with Brent Roy for that 4th and 5th position as they get on into it. Definitely an unscheduled stop there for the 43. We double-checked. Looks like he's got some damage on that. He's still down there trying to get that worked on. As you can see, the 17 getting by the 9 of Ricker there. Garrett Benson in the 77 truck is the other truck that's down on pit road. Been there since lap 2. Caution flag flies here on lap 25, and it looks like Bobby shipped it on up into the 3rd corner there, and I can't tell what that other truck, that's Jeffrey Brown in the 27 truck. Looks like he's going to come on by. So we'll take a look. There's Bobby Ship, the 04 truck. Unfortunately, we don't have the little box button thing that I got that does the replays. So unfortunately, we won't get a replay of that. But there you can see some big damage on that yellow truck down on pit road as well. That's Adam Henry in the 62 truck. That's who got that damage there. So caution flag flies here tonight, and a couple of drivers pumping out some smoke down on pit road. Not where you want to be in the first quarter of this race.
Yeah, definitely not. And for some folks like Adam Henry, that's probably the last time in this calendar year, or at least the next few months, that they're going to want to see their vehicle smoking. As Adam Henry normally races modified out at Jennerstown Speedway, and hopefully he has a good season up and coming. But we got the full party here on pit road. John Peters and pretty much the entire field, it looks like, coming to their pit stalls for service. So this is going to get very interesting momentarily.
Indeed, it is. One of the deals that we got from Ryan Salvatore was you have to keep focus on the long run speed. You have to take care of your tires, have to take care of the equipment. And you can see everybody down here looks like changing 4 tires. As you can see, the left side of those trucks getting jacked up by the front runners. These guys have 2 sets of tires that they're able to change throughout the race. And on a tank of fuel, it looks like they're able to make about 57 laps. So gonna have to come down at least one more time for fuel, and may very well slap another set of tires on these cars, these trucks. I'm going to keep doing that until we switch over to cars. And next season, I'm probably going to call everything a truck.
You'll be used to it by then, right?
Indeed.
This is going to get very interesting. We see John Peters. Well, that pit crew was spot on right there, and he's still out front. And we see Kenny Kibbe pulling alongside of Ryan Messer, but the positions they came in are pretty much the positions they came out down pit road, and that just shows you how skilled these guys are, just even coming down pit road and everything. As we've talked about it before, you got to be close to perfect on this last night of racing here at Dover, and we'll see what happens here. One other thing that's going to come into play, and we're not close to halfway yet, is, well, we're sort of nearing halfway, I guess you could say, but the driver that leads the most laps gets a bonus point as well. So John Peters has led these first 38 laps of this race already. If he leads 12, 13 more, then he's clinched that extra bonus point. So that's another thing that we got to watch out for here, as that could certainly come into play. This thing might not be far from over, but it might be a little bit closer to over as that continues to happen under this Dover sunlight. The piece truck pulls in. Here we go once again, Paul.
Pace truck down to the safety of pit road one mo again. That 09 truck picking the top side. As we heard in practice, a lot of these drivers going to prefer the top side as we get into this one. And he pulls away just enough to let that one truck slide on up into that high side. There you see the 99 of Daddio making it happen up on the top side. He's going to try and get around the 4 truck of Kenny Kibbe.
That he is. As there we see the field kind of coming up here. Is great pass right there for Steven Daddio. Taking that 3rd spot on the restart. He's going to set his sights on that number 1, and he's got to get to the front really quick because he's got less than 20 laps to get around John Peters if he can, and maybe get a bonus point for himself, and then maybe getting another bonus point if he gets this lead before halfway and could lead the rest of the way. So that's really what he's going to need to do, and you can see he's hauling it right now. But that's the thing, though, when we've got everyone on the same strategy, everyone is just going all out at the same time, it makes it even tougher to make any kind of successful pass. Evan Boyer records the fastest lap that time by.
And we've talked about the points throughout the season. 46 points to win, 42 points for second place, and then it drops by 1 point for each position. And behind that, as we have 69 laps to go, 68 as they cross the stripe. And you made mention already, 1 point for the pole. That's going to go to Ryan Messer. 1 point for leading a lap, who has pretty much been John Peters. I think he's led green to where we are right now. And then 1 point, as you made mention, for leading the most laps here tonight. So going to be a tight points battle. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the race here. And man, oh man, it is getting dicey for that 3rd and 4th position.
It sure is. Kenny Kibbe wants that position back now because they both have Evan Boyer breathing down their neck. We did say, Marcel said he was the wild card, and he may be right. Here comes Evan on the outside, trying the outside line here for a second. He pulls back tucks back behind the 4 of Kenny Kibbe for the time being. But great battles going on in the top 5. The 2nd through 5th place trucks not letting John Peters get too far ahead this time during this run. So we'll see how this continues to pan out. These guys are, since they pitted around, I think it was lap 27, 28, they're all going to have to pit one more time because they can't make it on fuel. From what I can tell, max of 56 green flag laps. So they're all going to have to make another pit stop before this night is over. We had an early caution there in the first half of the race. It's been a while since you and I have seen a yellow flag, or any of us have seen a yellow flag in an NEP race. It goes to show how skilled these guys are. But it happens every once in an occasion, and that really set things up to be a little bit interesting during this first half of the race. Already have 4 trucks behind the pit wall, or behind the wall. Jared Adams, Bobby Shipp, Adam Henry, we saw them kind of get involved in things a little earlier, and Garrett Benson also behind the wall. Early exit from tonight's race. Johnny Miller, the only truck that's lapped right now, currently 2 laps in the rears, so he'll need a couple more yellows to get back around. Hopefully he's got that 6 truck fixed. But second, third, fourth, fifth, all running nose to tail right now. Nose to tailgate.
Still nose to tailgate. Now, we're going to get it figured out by the end of the race, I'm sure of it. But there you can see, you can throw a blanket over those 4 drivers there. Great onboard look here for the NSR number 4. He's taking a look down low on the 99 of Steve Daddio. Daddio's Auto Parts all over that truck. There's a good shot of the blimp up there. How about that? The iRacing blimp. Always cool to kind of see where all the different camera angles come from. And sliding back just a little bit, but right up in the draft. We've seen these drivers kind of back up and play a little bit of cat and mouse. What they're trying to do is do a little bit of homework. And we talk about this almost every race. These guys will back up maybe a half a second or a few truck lengths just to kind of see how long it's going to take to utilize that draft, utilize the racetrack, and get right back up to the bumper of who they're chasing down. And that's the best time to do that is kind of the first half of the race. That way you've got that in the back of your mind. The crew chief has it in the proverbial notebook, and they're able to kind of utilize that information later on. So if you've got 5 laps to go, and it takes you maybe 2 laps to catch up to the back bumper of a certain truck, you'll know when to go, because you don't want to pull the trigger too early, because that kind of gives the opportunity to the other driver to do a little bit of defensive maneuvers. So a lot of studying going on right now. These guys taking themselves to school, and they're all still trying to chase down 3-time champ, the 09 truck, John Peters. He's out front by about 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, it does seem like these trucks handle a little bit different than we've seen like the Xfinity cars in past years handle here at Dover. And but it's still, you got to still be careful, like we've talked about. It's easy to get loose and spin or get tight and hit the wall here, whichever way your truck is handling. And basically, everyone had to be pretty quick out of those pits. It was, if you make too many adjustments, you're going to lose too many spots there on pit road. So it's almost like you got what you've got for the most part. And right now, John Peters seems to have the class of the field as he is continuing to lead. We're only 7 laps away from halfway, and John Peters has been the leader this entire time. So we're coming upon that 6th truck of John Miller here again. Once again, he's just not having a great final night of racing. Tough break for Johnny, as I know he's had a top 10 truck most of the season, and we don't like to see someone struggle that way just to conclude their year. But right now, out front, John Peters continuing to do his thing. Kibbe still right on the back of Stephen Daddio, and there they all go by that number 6 truck, probably without any issue here. Johnny's staying to the outside and is going to fall another lap down. As there we see Stephen Daddio, Kenny Kibbe trying to find, and that's one of the things, you're waiting to pounce. You're waiting for your next competitor to make their competitor in front of you to make a mistake. But Paul, how many times have we seen competitors make mistakes in these recent races? Not many.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it does happen every once in a while. You'll see one of these drivers make a mistake, but we've mentioned so many times that this race, being it's the 5th time the NEP series has had their championship race here, and being a home track for a lot of these drivers, there's going to be a little extra time put in as far as practice goes for pit stops, green flag pit stops, caution pit stops, time on track, long runs, short runs, whatever these guys need throughout the top of it. It seems like it's relatively calm up in the top 5 or so. So we're going to take a peek. As soon as I say that, Kibbe takes a look down low on the 99 truck of Steve Daddio. It looks like it's going to tuck back in. You can see that gap back to the 6th position. Jason Ricker in the 9 truck has a little bit of a gap in front, a little bit of a gap in behind, and it doesn't look like there's too much damage on that RKM setup shop truck. Keith Lord having a solid run on the 17 truck there in the 7th position. Jeffrey Bradway behind him in the 13. Brent Roy making some moves. He's up to the 9th position as they run. He qualified outside the top 15. Austin Belke in the 24 truck, who really showed that he knows how to drive these trucks back in the SuperTrucks series, the team deal we did a couple of seasons ago. So Austin Belke doing what he does here in the 24, just on the outside of the top 10 looking in. There you see Zane Farrell in the 14. About the 7 of Corey Casagrande. We made mention early on, Aaron, that's a tight points battle between those 2 drivers. 4 points separating Corey and Zane, and they're running nose to tail here at 11 to 12.
Yeah, one of them's going to have to pull a little further ahead of the other, though, for anything to change right there. As it's going to be a few positions that's going to make a difference when it comes to points. So that's one thing that we'll have to continue watching as well. Basically, that's the way things go with the points. We said it's a 4-point differential from first to second. Obviously, winning's important, and then from second all the way down to last, it's only a 1-point separation each position. That's how the points work for the NEP series. It's also why you could hear a bit of hesitancy from Steven Daddio pre-race. He's far and away been the most consistent driver this season from beginning to end, but has only visited Victory Lane. He's only visited Victory Lane once, while Kibby's won 4 times, Peters has won 3 times. So you're talking about that differential from first to second. Those second place finishes, in a weird way, have all those second and third place finishes for Daddio, in a weird way, have kind of hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, these drivers, you see Jeffrey Brown in the 27 truck going a lap down there. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there for John Peters in the 09 truck. He's going to hold on to it, and he's going to claim that bonus point for leading the most laps, as we are now 3 laps past halfway. So that could be big here for the 09 camp. You can see he's starting to pull away by just a little bit more. Ryan Messer still in second. The 4 truck has gotten back around Steve Daddio. Daddio slipping on back to the 4th position in the 99 truck, and he's got a little bit of ground to make up. You can see he's got about 10 truck lengths in between there as Messer goes down low under the 27 of Jeffrey Brown.
Yeah, Jeffrey, trying to stay out of the way. I saw he did kind of tag the wall there a couple laps ago, trying to do so. So that's always tough when you're trying to stay out of the way of the championship contenders, but you almost ruin it for yourself. But he's doing his thing right now in the number 27, staying out of the way. Although Steven Daddio getting held up a little bit there in the 99, now back and forth like we were talking about. Kibby up to 3rd. Now Daddio is able to get around the 27. 56 is Bowyer is going to get by as well. And look at how many car length separation there is now between Kibby and Daddio. That could spell trouble. Although we talked about, they're going to have to pit one more time. So could we see some strategy come into play if we stay green?
Now, we've seen a lot of trickery with the fuel mileage here in the past handful of races. Brent Roy comes to mind as he would come down pit road earlier than any of the other competitors and take advantage of those fresh tires. And we're about 30 laps into this run. We ran about 25, 26 laps on the last run before that caution flag came out. And just taking a look at the times, we're only running about 4/10 slower than the quickest lap times that these drivers have run. So they're not, they're not falling off too much as they get into this one. So we may see someone try and come down and short pit. If they were to come down right now, they'd be able to make it with 43 laps to go. Because keep in mind, they've got that one more set of tires down on pit road, and they can make 56, 57 laps on a tank of fuel. So everybody going to have to come down one more time. It's just a matter of when for these drivers.
That's definitely true, but I don't know if we're going to see one of the championship contenders do that. That is a huge gamble, potentially. We've seen some drivers kind of try to do things. I think it was last week. I forget who it was now. My short-term memory is failing me, Paul. But we had someone that was trying to play that game last week, and it just didn't work out for them. I think it might have been Johnny Miller. And it's always a gamble when it comes to this kind of racing. You never know when a yellow flag, like we've seen a lot of clean and green racing in recent weeks, but you never know when that thing is going to come out. That yellow flag is going to be unfurled and you're caught a lap or two down, especially at Dover where you're pitting under green on a 1 mile track. You're almost guaranteed to lose 2 laps.
And just taking a look once again at time scoring, you can follow along at home as well on your tablet, phone, laptop, whatever you've got. VidaneTV/scoring, brought to us by Wingnut Productions. And top 3 contenders for that championship up in the top 4 right now. Ryan Messer knows a thing or two about winning a championship. He came home with the RBR Maritime Group's Season 8 championship just a few short months ago, and he came into another close battle in the points here on VidaneTV between he and Stanton Woldridge. They came into the final race tied, and they ended the final race tied. Ryan Messer won that final race, and that was the tiebreaker. He had that one more win over Tanton Woolridge. So very close championships all around this past winter here on VidaneTV. And this is just, again, great racing here at Dover Motor Speedway. The Monster Mile always putting on a show, especially here with these NEP drivers. Once again, this is the 5th time the NEP championship is going to be decided at this racetrack. And doesn't disappoint. This guy's putting on a great show here. That one quick caution there on lap number 26 with the ship truck getting everybody else holding on to it for right now. John Peters leading, and once again, he got that bonus point for leading a lap. He got the other bonus point for leading the most laps. So Kenny Kibbe going to now have to put in a little bit of extra work and hope for a little bit extra luck, because it's going to be 3 points now between John Peters. 4 points. No, I'm off. We're going to have to check the spreadsheet once again, but it's going to be tight. Both of these drivers are going to need a little help between the 4 and the 99 if they're going to capitalize this championship. But with 21 drivers still on the lead lap, anything is possible.
Anything's certainly possible with 21 trucks on the lead lap, for sure. As right now, it's all John Peters' race to lose. Like we said, we've still got some more things to settle this out. But right now, looks like a 2.2 second advantage for John Peters. And look at this. There's one of our championship contenders, Steven Daddio, coming to pit road a little earlier than some of the other competitors. 34 laps to go. He is coming in, and it looks like he's taking at least right side tires here. We'll see if they jack it up for the left side as well. Is he going to get 4 fresh tires? He certainly is, and going to fill that thing full of fuel. The 99 of Steven Daddio goes back out, and he is going to now he's going to try to make up some ground, or maybe he'll try to conserve it a little bit and pray that a yellow flag does not come out. We saw John Peters go by right there in the 09. I believe Steven Daddio is 2 laps down with that early pit stop. So we'll see if this sets a precedence and we see some of the other competitors come down pit road, or if Daddio's trying something a little different.
You know, when a thought enters my head, I'm going to have to start making it, because I almost made that call for the 99. He's going to have to try something a little bit different, and he did. He came down pit road. You can see John Peters is the truck in front of it. He's going to be able to get at least one of his laps back the hard way, and there's only one other driver. Jeffrey Brown is 1 lap down ahead of him in that 20th position, so the Daddio machine should be able to get back on the lead lap relatively quickly. You can see how much quicker those tires are. There he goes down low on John Peters. Gonna get one of those laps back the hard way as he pulls away from the 09 truck in a big way. So I got a feeling this is going to force the hand of the 09 and the 4. They're going to have to come down pit road soon.
That could certainly be a possibility, as that's one thing that we're going to have to watch. The thing is, though, whoa, Messer really slides it there. So yeah, they some of these guys might be pretty desperate for tires. But right now, you saw Daddio did make up his lap the hard way, but he is still 1 lap in the rears in that number 99. So right now, if we get a yellow right this second, he is still caught a lap down, which is not good. However, there is only one other truck that is a lap down, and Jeffrey Brown in the 27 truck. So if Daddio can get ahead of Brown, caution comes out, he'll get the free pass at least and be on the lead lap. So, and there you see it right there on our screen. Daddio does get by Brown, and now Daddio is the first truck 1 lap down. So that could make things interesting as well. I just said that, and now I think Mike Hopkins is pit road as I look at timing and scoring in the 78. So he's a lap down now. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this shuffles out. It's going to be interesting with these green flag pit stops. It's very tricky. 1 mile oval, especially on corner exit, and that's also including getting down pit road. We saw it in real life years back. I think it was one of the years Matt Kenseth was in the NASCAR Cup Series championship hunter. It might have been the season of the championship. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But he kind of wiped out there entering pit road at Dover. So it's one of those things where, if someone has an issue coming down pit road and they're blocking that pit road, they're going to have to unfurl that yellow and bunch this field up again. So right now, though, we're closing in on the final quarter of this race. John Peters continuing to lap through the field.
And that's one of the things there's a lot going through the minds of all these drivers, especially the top three in the championship. But Steve Daddio on pit road, off pit road, no issue. So he doesn't have to worry about coming down pit road for tires or fuel for the rest of this thing. The 09 still has to come down, as does the 4. And we made mention we seldom see those two drivers make mistakes, but it has happened in the past. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on, especially if these guys come down under green flag.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we'll see how this continues to continue to shake out here as we ride there. Look at John Peters continuing to lead the way. And yeah, this is going to get really interesting, these last 25 laps. We really haven't seen any challenges for the lead just yet. John Peters has led this entire way. He took the lead from the outside on that start, and on that initial start. Came down pit road under yellow with the lead, exited pit road with the lead, restarted with the lead. So it's been nothing but John Peters out front right now. And he is just hungry to get that 4th NEP championship, as we talked to him before the race went green. And it's been a few years since he's been on that top step. He'd love to end it back where he started.
And checking back in with the 99 of Steve Daddio, he is all the way back up to the 12th position, passing drivers as they come down pit road, and as they there's a couple of drivers that are trying to stay out there to try and hold on and hope for a caution. Little 3-wide action there. Zane Farrell up on the top side, Ryan Salvatore in the middle, and that is the 10 truck of Kolesner down on the bottom side. They make it. No, it's not. It's the 81 of Winters. As they make it work, they get it all sorted back out, and Zane Farrell up to the 6th position.
Yeah, Zane having a good run to close out the season. I think he started off the season pretty well, but missed some events this season. So he's been mired back a little bit in the points. He only has one top 5 this year, so he'd like to finish it off with a second top 5. So Zane Farrell in that number 14, having a good run so far tonight. He follows Arsal, who we already talked about, has had pretty much a career season in that number 12. We see another truck, that's Ryan Messer.
Oh!
And he saves it. He saved it. He manages to save it. That could have been something right there, as that might hurt him some time. But we do have a yellow flag out with 20 to go. We see smoke. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Jeffrey Brown and John
24
Miller.
of Belkey, it looks like.
Was that Belkey or Miller? Oh, it's Belkey. Interesting. Number 24 around was running in the top 10 most of this race. So tough break for Austin Belkey in the 24. And now this is going to really reset things and make things interesting, as we're going to have to very closely monitor timing and scoring and see how all this ends up shaking out.
So I believe Ryan Messer is going to be the free pass. He was the first truck, one lap down when the caution flag came out. Brian Shipp in the 48 and Steve Daddio are the 3 drivers that were caught one lap down. You can see that's not what Daddio wanted to see coming into this one. So John Peters, Kenny Kibbe running 1 and 2 right now, and there you see they're coming down pit road to get service to their trucks. So Daddio's going to need a lot of help here in the final 19 laps, as he came down early. He made that gamble, and I don't know if it's going to pay off here. But once again, we've made mention 1,001 times, anything can happen in these VidaneTV races. Anything can happen here in the NEP series.
Yeah, I wouldn't count Daddio out just yet. And because he, I think with staying out on and all the lead lap trucks, if they all pitted, he will get the wave around. So I think he will get back on the lead lap. However, even if he does, he's still going to have he's not going to be in the top 5 like he was before all the pits cycled. So he's still going to have to make up a lot of ground. I think he might restart, 9th or 10th or something like that. So we'll see once we get things all in order here. And I think John Peters had no issue getting out. I was going to say he had no issue getting out up front, but Corey Casagrande right now being scored as the leader. So we'll see how all this works out here. I'm sure the race director's on the horn. Here comes Corey Casagrande. He did not pit that last time when the pits were open, so that's kind of interesting. The 7CT staying out for an extra lap. I don't know if that's for him to gain some ground or on or have more of a cushion on Zane Farrell. If he got credit with leading a lap, he gains a point on Zane Farrell for 16th in points. So that could be some strategy right there in the middle of the field as well. So we'll see how all this works out once we can reset the field when they double up.
And there you see Steve Daddio at the end of the pack here, currently being scored in the 12th position. First truck now, one lap down. So he's going to hope for a quick caution to try and get back on that lead lap and get after it here with this one. John Peters, Kenny Kibbe, 1 and 2. Great stop for Ryan Salvatore up in the 3rd position. How about that? Zane Farrell, another good stop for him as well. The 14 truck being scored in 4th. Brandon Newhouse, 5th. Scott McDonald in the 44 truck in 6th. Dale Glessner, Ryan Messer, Evan Bollier, and Corey Casagrande going to be the top 10 as they run.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be fixing the. I don't know if this was the last yellow that we've seen. Now is when it gets really exciting. When we go green, we'll probably be inside 15 laps remaining. So yeah, there's a lot of battles to be settled before we call it a night and call it an NEP season. As we see them getting ready to double up here in a moment, and we're gonna go green the next time by. So it seems. And like you said, here's the order as we go when we get ready to go to green. John Peters looks like he's going to choose the outside for the restart on Kenny Kibbe, who's running in 2nd, Zane Farrell 3rd, Ryan Salvatore 4th, Scott McDonald in 5th, Brandon Newhouse 6th. A lot of drivers we haven't really gotten a chance to talk about. Dale Glessner has kind of been the hard luck driver of the year in that number 10 is running in 7th. Ryan Messer is 8th, Corey Casagrande 9th, Evan Boyer 10th, Brian Ship 11th, and yes, Steve Daddio is being scored on the lead lap, but in 12th position.
And it looks like we're keeping in mind, too, he came down before that caution flag came out. So he's got a little bit older tires. We've had a little bit of an extended caution here, so I believe those tires have been able to cool off. And these guys that we made mention earlier, he can run about 50, 55 laps on a tank of fuel. So I don't think those tires are shot on the 99 truck. He's got to be smart here, though, in the closing laps if he's going to get up there and do battle one Kenny Kibbe. The pace truck is off. Green flag flies, and it's a little bit of a mix-up up towards the front. They get it all sorted out, and they get single file as they go into 1 and 2.
Yeah, right now, John Peters, another great restart for him in that number 09 truck. And, man, Kenny Kibbe's really going to have to do some work to run him down. They are running 2 and 3 wide. Further back, Scott McDonald slipping back from restarting in 5th as we see Keith Lord, Joey Dwyron, Jason Ricker, and a few others making their way by as things got a little sketchy there. Mid-pack, Ryan Messer's trying to move his way back up through the field. There's a lot of drivers trying to find their way back to the front, and we're 3 wide and Ricker's in the wall.
Somebody just told these drivers that there's 15 laps left in this season. We stay green, it looks like, as Ricker gets it straightened out. And man, oh man, things are getting exciting very, very quickly here. Up front, though, there you see it off the front of that truck. There is nobody up in front of that 09, and he's got the 4 truck in behind him by about 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, John Peters it's just clear racetrack in front of him right now. Kenny Kibbe running in 2nd and trying to keep Peters in sight, and he's doing a good job of it so far. How about Arsal running in 3rd right now? We've only gotten to talk to him once as a podium finisher, and it could be today that we got to hear from him the 2nd time, as there you see him running in 3rd with Zane Farrell chasing him down in 4th. So a lot of great battles continuing to go as next time by, we're only going to have 10 laps remaining, and Kenny Kibbe, 2nd place, just ran the fastest lap of the race.
Somebody just told Kenny Kibbe there's 10 laps to go in the season. He is trying to do everything he can to get back up to the tailgate of that '09 truck. You can see taking it real wide, almost all the way up to that outside wall as they cross the stripe. 10 laps to go here at Dover.
Yeah, that's lots of scores to be settled still. It's within 2 car lengths now between Peters and Kibbe. Now, is Peters looking in his mirror, though, and seeing that Kibbe's coming, and is he going to turn up the wick? Can he turn up the wick? Has he given it all he has? So that's one thing we're going to continue to watch. And that's, wow, there's a lot that still can go on here as we cross the line. The next, whoa, Arsal gets really loose there on the backstretch, and now that's going to allow Zane Farrell to capitalize and try to take third away, as Arcel's going to keep it for the time being. But this time by, 8 laps remain.
Looks like we may have some connection issues with that 12 truck. You see him blinking in and out there with just 8 laps to go. That's not a problem you want to have. You made mention Zane Farrell in that 14 truck running in 4th. Corey Casagrande back in the 8th position in that 7CT truck. So trying to make some moves back in a little bit further on back in the points, but Zane Farrell having a solid run, P4 right now.
Yeah, he certainly is, as we continue to see them doing what they can. Everyone's doing everything they can. They know that there's only a few more moments of racing remaining here in the NEP series for the 2024-25 season. Steven Daddio, there you see him in the 99. His championship hopes are starting to slip away. Currently back in 11th spot, 9.5 seconds behind the leader. The thing with that wave around that he got is you still end up having to restart behind some of the lap trucks. So he was kind of hoping for a very quick yellow to kind of reset things and get himself back there with the lead lap trucks. And right now, he's just got his hands full in that 99. He might have used up all he's got in that truck. The thing he might be hoping for is a late yellow. You can come down pit road, but they're only given 2 sets of tires, and he's used them both already. So Team Daddy is kind of, with that gamble, has made himself a bit of a sitting duck. As you see, he slid that thing out of the corner a couple times. Johnny Miller and Brian Shipp have been right on his tail. That is not something that we've seen Steven Daddio doing here very often this season. Tough break for the 99 to close it out this way. But up front, man, this thing's not over yet.
It's not, and it is going to be tight with the points. The 09 truck got the bonus point for leading a lap, then got another bonus point for leading the most laps. So even if Kenny Kibbe gets around the 09 truck and wins this race, it's going to be too close to call. I'm going to let Salvatore do all the math on that, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. The 09 truck doing everything he can. He's a 3-time champion for a reason. Coming out of 3 and 4, pick your favorite flavor. Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go in the season and the 6th for NEP.
Yeah, with my fuzzy math, since there's a 4-point separation from first and second, if Kibbe can get around Peters here in these last 2 laps, I think he will get the championship unofficially. That's based on my fuzzy math, but he's really going to need to reel it in here as we come to take the white flag, and there's now a few car lengths separating the two.
Yeah, John Peters gained about a 10.5 that time by Kenny Kibbe in the 4 truck, doing everything he possibly can to try and get to the back bumper to the 09, but to no avail. They go into 3 and 4 for the final time. You can already see John Peters holding the 4 fingers up out the window, because here he comes, the 4-time NEP Series champion. John Peters in the 09 truck wins the race, wins the championship. Kenny Kibbe going to finish in 2nd. And how about our Sal? Ryan Salvatore going to come home with his 2nd podium of the season. Brandon Newhouse, Zane Farrell going to round out the top 5. What a race. What a season.
Yeah, pretty excited to talk to our Sal post-race, and Brandon Newhouse with his best run of the year as well in that number 3 after missing some recent events. Big man, Kenny Kibbe gave it his all in that number 4 truck. Steve Daddio in the 99 decided to gamble. It didn't work out for him. It could have very well had if the cautions fell the way in his favor. But John Peters getting ready to celebrate in that number 09.
There you see he's going to park it right there on the start-finish line. We'll see if he does himself some burnouts, but we know that 09 driver is excited, so we're going to get down there and talk to him right off the rip. John Peters, four-time champion here in the NEP series. John, first off, congratulations. What's going through your mind right now?
I appreciate that. A lot of things, really. It took too long for you to update that saying, I feel. But had the 3-time going for a long time, it felt. And it's gotten a lot harder in the last couple years in this league. Guys have gotten better. The racing's gotten tougher. We've changed the strategy a lot. So it's not like it used to be back in the early days. You really got to earn them now. So I just appreciate this quite a bit. It was so fun. I was just excited all week to have the chance to square up and race hard for a championship with the guys that we did, and so glad that it worked out the way it did. I just wanted this one pretty bad and put a lot of time in this week, and I've got friends here this week that I could be doing stuff with right now, but decided to do this, and they were supportive of that, and I appreciate that, and glad it all worked out, and really excited.
Parking the 229 Auto Parts on start-finish line momentarily, doing a little bit of a Polish victory lap up by that outside wall, giving the four-finger salute to the fans out in the virtual crowd. And man, oh man, great season all season long. Consistency really paying off. Who gets you to and from the track? Who's out there watching? And man, talk to us. Who else is there?
I thank you guys for doing this every single week. Thanks NEP for putting it on, and Adams for sponsoring the race tonight. Always appreciate the people who step up and do that. And my wife lets me do this every Thursday for 6 months in the winter, and our 2 dogs don't have a choice, but they still let me do it, and I appreciate them. My mom, everybody who tunes in and watches, my teammates at 229, Kenny and Steve, they had a great season too. It was really fun to race with them. Had me worried there for a little with how the strategy was working out. Steve, I give him credit. Steve went with the alternate strategy there and split the last run in half, and I thought that was going to work if we didn't get a yellow. So there's just smart racers, and it was fun to go head-to-head with them, and I appreciate them running me clean every week. And I did the no burnout Polish victory lap because thoughts go through your mind, start thinking about my dad and how much he loved watching these races. And, once you blink and it's 4 championships later, he thought burnouts were dumb, so no burnouts tonight.
Totally supported, and always cool to see the Polish victory lap. And I know your dad was one of our biggest fans here at VidaneTV. Always got some warm messages after the NEP races, especially those first 3 in a row championships that you nailed. So congratulations, John. Been an awesome season, and on to the next.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys doing this again. Look forward to chatting with you for next season.
1000%. John Peters, 4-time NEP champion after tonight's race here at Dover. And we're going to slide it on over to Aaron. He's caught up to the second place finisher in both tonight's race and the championship season.
Well, thanks, Paul. I'm not biggest fan of being I guess you could say the losing locker room reporter, but Kenny, you gave it everything you had, it seemed like, especially in those closing laps here at Dover, but just a few car lengths short.
Yeah, I really did. I mean, we had that opportunity with the short run at the end, and we knew it was game on with just running qualifying laps at the end, and gave it all I had. But I think the mixture of the dirty air, and we were so even anyway, and it was just so difficult to pass at this track. Really put me behind from the get-go, and it was kind of just the same deal there at the end.
Yeah, that was one thing we did notice was with the trucks versus the Xfinity cars is it a little bit harder to navigate around in the truck here at Dover?
I mean, I think it's first tricky because you're really not off the throttle that much in the trucks here at Dover, so that leads to less passing. And then they're so these trucks are definitely aero dependent, and they get real pushy when you're behind somebody. And I liked how the balance was actually getting looser when you're running by yourself, so that was cool. But I think also the fact that they kind of bogged down on the long run, and you just can't get the drive off that you need to actually complete a pass. So just a mixture of factors made it really difficult when like you could get up to somebody and sometimes get to their inside, you just couldn't make the pass.
For sure. And Definitely overall a great season. You made quite the rally there late in the year. If it wasn't for that, you may not have even been in contention. So I know that you have a lot of people to thank for this great season once again.
Yeah, just it was my even though we won the championship a couple seasons ago, I would think that this is probably my strongest one with the most polls that we've had and the most wins. But thanks to my competitors, John's a great champion. Steve's great teammate. Also Austin and Sal. How about Sal getting third? I'm excited to listen to his interview later. But yeah, my teammates have forward weaponry. We're still the best team, no doubt. And everybody at NEP. It was a great race tonight. We've had some really good clean races. I know some of them have been kind of snooze fests, but I personally like having the clean long green flag run races. So kudos to everybody at the league. Thanks to Corey and Zane and all the admins for putting this on. Thanks to you guys in the VidaneTV booth for the broadcasts every week. And thanks to everybody who rode on board with me throughout the season and tonight especially. And yeah, we'll look forward to next season.
All right, so that's Kenny Kibbe, the second place finisher. Great season once again, and Paul, I think you're down there with Mr. Arsal with another podium finish.
Well. The 12 truck coming home, running in the top 10 for the first half of the race. Solid run and a great pit stop there in the late going of it. Coming home with, I believe, podium number 2 here this season. How's it going, Sal?
Yeah, podium number 2 and this season and forever. So we kind of backed into this one a little bit by running long and kind of if it stayed green, we were going to be in trouble. So yellow helped me. It hurt Steve, but it was Zane was giving me a good run there at the end, and I was having a little bit of connection issues, so I do apologize to him and Brandon. It was a little difficult, but I wasn't pulling off or anywhere on that at the end of that. If they were blinking, I'm sorry, but I wasn't stopping.
Absolutely not. A great run for that 12 truck. Arsal T all over that thing. And before I let you thank your sponsors, I got to thank you because you make it easy for me and Aaron with all the stats and the notes throughout the season. Each and every race, we get a note card with who to watch and what the points battles look like, who the sponsors are, the over-unders for a lot of these different drivers, and even just the points as they run, really being able to kind of help us tell the stories. We really appreciate that. I know the fans out there in the internet world appreciate all the extra stats as well. And we'll give you an opportunity. It's the second opportunity, it seems like, all season long for you to thank anybody out there that's watching. Who gets you tuned from who gets you tuned from the virtual racetrack? And what have you got kind of for final thoughts as we close out the season?
Final thoughts. It was a good year. Like there was definitely some tweaking that we'll do with the schedule and some other things to try to make it a little more entertainment. There was a few little ones here and there, but now we kind of know what we're doing with the trucks. So I do like how the trucks get a lot more parity, just like the Xfinity cars did. Like it makes it interesting, but you really still the cream still rises to the top, but it helps. I wouldn't be up here if we were in the Xfinity cars. I don't know. I don't think so. So I was okay with the move. Yeah, Arsal TV, the YouTube, if you want to go check it out, there'll be highlights. And once we get to award season, you can go on there, vote for what your favorite one is. Teammates 4 wide repertory. I can't even say it correctly. It's so much fun riding around with Steve and Kenny and Austin. It makes Thursdays a lot more fun doing it that way. Our Hot Rod Solutions of Daytona, parents, brother if he watches. Yeah, you guys in the booth, Jared Adams, I guess he sponsored this race today. NEP, Corey Zane. I don't know. One of these days I'll have to write down actually who to thank because I have no clue. I'm not here nearly enough.
There's always next season to make that magic happen, but a solid run here tonight. Congratulations on second podium here this season.
Oh yeah, time for some beers.
1,000%. So that's going to wrap things up here for NEP Season 6. It's hard to believe, Aaron, that this season is already over. Great shot there of Miles Monster. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah, Miles. How about him? And luckily, he didn't really come out and bite too many people tonight. But yeah, overall, great season right there. Man, that was a lot of fun, and I'm excited for October to come back around. Maybe not extremely excited because I want to get to some real races here in the hot sun. And I know you're down in Five Flag Speedway this weekend having some fun. I'm off to South Boston on Saturday. So hopefully we'll see many of these guys and some of you that are watching. Hopefully we'll see you at the real racetrack at some point over the spring and summer, and then into the fall.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And once we sign off here, I actually got to get back to work because I still have to run the fiber over to turn 1, where I'm going to be perched up here at in Pensacola at Five Flag Speedway. If you're interested in what we're working on, shoot on over to Flow Racing on Saturday night. We're going to be covering the ARCA East race, and then Sunday night, the ASA Stars Tour is going to be here as well. That's going to be over on Track TV. And I can't sign off without thanking Tony Stevens with Pit Road TV for allowing me to use the production trailer here in the content booth portion of it. I'm right next to all the snacks and all the drinks, so that works out good. I'm going to grab myself a snack and shoot on over to turn 1 and get everything all sorted out here. So if you're in the area, definitely swing on by, say hello. I'm a real tough guy to miss. So it's going to be a fun weekend for sure. But for now, keep an eye on the socials. We will be doing an award show here at some point throughout the spring and summer months. We might wait till fall. We'll see how the schedule lines up. A lot of these drivers in the NEP series are going to be running real race cars throughout the warmer months. So that's going to be a lot of fun to follow along with as well. Until then, we will catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we're going to be doing it live.